These latest headlines from ABC15 are sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. One call, that's all.
Hi there, I'm Nohelani Graff with your top stories from ABC15 Arizona. Start with some consumer news here. As housing costs climb, lawmakers want to make sure that condo owners get a fair deal if they're ever forced to sell to investors. Arizona law does allow investors to take over condos once they have bought at least 80% of the units, which then forces the remaining residents to sell for fair market value. Well, newly introduced legislation is looking to ensure that assessments are accurately pricing those condos, using multiple sales outside of the complex that's currently being bought up by investors. The idea here is to allow homeowners who are forced into a sale to be able to afford housing in the same area for the same quality, especially those who are on a fixed income.
Senior citizens are the fastest growing segment of the homeless population. So I thought the least I can do is try and make sure that people can stay in their homes. And if not, at least make sure that they can get a fair market value that would.
The bill would also increase relocation costs for owners. Also happening at the state capitol, lawmakers are working to change a state law that currently allows minors to keep guns even if their parents don't want their child to have them. A new bill would require parents to be aware and okay their child having access to a firearm in the home. The bill has already passed through committee in the Arizona House. The city of Phoenix has lost its place as a first-tier best-performing city. Phoenix fell 10 spots from 8th to 18th on the Milken Institute ranking, dropping the city to a Tier 2. So the Institute ranks cities based on 13 categories, including job growth and housing affordability. Phoenix saw dips in nearly every category. We do have an update for you on the construction happening on the I-10 Broadway Curve improvement project. I know it feels like it's lasting forever, but the good news is ADOT says it's about 80% complete and it's on track to finish later this year. The project consists of 4 phases. Right now, crews are in the 3rd phase, so that's building connections to the 143, bridge connections from the 10 to the 60, roadway paving, lighting, landscaping, all of that makes up the final phase. This weekend, you can get cuddles and kisses with sweet shelter pups ahead of Valentine's Day. The Arizona Humane Society is hosting a puppy kissing booth today from 11 to 1 at the South Mountain campus. And if you want a furry friend of your own, you can take one home for free today. The Arizona Humane Society is also going to be waiving adoption fees through tomorrow. They say this is to help with an overflow of animals in their shelters right now. Those kisses, they're going to hook you. Now through February 29th, ABC15 has teamed up with Earnhart Auto Centers for the Second Chance Sports Gear Drive. The goal here is to provide new or at least gently used sports equipment to the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Valley. You know, for a lot of kids in our community, the cost of joining a sports team can keep them from playing. It gets so expensive. So Coach Drew Veach from the Boys and Girls Clubs explains a lot more goes into athletic costs than meets the eye.
People are fast to say that flag football is a low barrier sport. However, you still have to purchase the flags, you still have to purchase the footballs, you still have to line the football fields, you need cones out there. And none of that stuff is possible without our generous donors who make sure that we get the supplies that we need to give kids the experiences that they deserve.
So the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Valley make team sports affordable for families. $20 sponsors one child for a soccer league. $40 sponsors a child for flag football. $150 if you have that to give. It covers the cost for an entire team's season. You can also donate new or gently used sports equipment to the Second Chance Sports Gear Drive because we know those costs add up too. You can stop by any of the 17 Earnhart Auto Centers across the valley. You can also scan that QR code that's on your screen right now and make a donation online.
Hi there, I'm Amelia Fabiano with a check of that most accurate forecast. Today is another weather action day here at ABC 15. We're expecting about another tenth to a quarter of an inch, in valley rainfall up until about 10 this morning. Then things will really start to taper off and the high country snow levels could drop to 3,500 feet. Another inch or two will grab up in the Flagstaff area after 3 feet of snow in 3 days in the Flagstaff area. Highs across the state today will be at 41 for our high in Prescott and Sedona, 32 in Flagstaff and Heber, 42 in Globe, 60 in Lake Havasu City, and overnight tonight will drop down into the 20s in Prescott, Sedona, and Payson. Teens along the rim, 4 degrees at the Grand Canyon and 35 overnight in Casa Grande. We're drying out after today, though, and climbing into the 60s for the beginning of the work week, mid-70s by the end of next week in Phoenix. In Flagstaff, you're drying out too, climbing into the upper 40s by next week. Slight chance for storms next Friday.
For the latest headlines, weather, and traffic, you can head to ABC15.com. We also have a free ABC15 app. Make it a great day.
These latest headlines from ABC 15 are sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. One call, that's all.